Good afternoon, and thank you very much, Rosetta, for joining us this afternoon. Would you give us a little bit about your background and your position?
Sure. My name is Rosetta Carrington Liu. I'm the Deputy Managing Director for the City of Philadelphia, and I oversee the 311 customer service operation for the City of Philadelphia. We handle and we service 1.5 million customers for the city, and that excludes visitors and businesses that also calls us as well.
Excellent. Okay. What, in your opinion, are the big three trends for the contact center industry over the next 36 months?
That's a good question. What I'm seeing within our sector, within our operation, and also across the industry, is the next three biggest trends that I'm seeing is in social media and our ability to meet the customer demands for having us be able to provide them information using social media access points. The other trends that I'm seeing for us is community engagement and really stepping up our involvement in understanding why the citizens are calling and how we are, what we're doing to meet those needs. As well, within the government sector, another trend for us is talent acquisition. Because you can see the industry is changing from the way it was before in the types of avenues that customers are getting in contact with us. We need to go out and find a staff who are able to be flexible in meeting those demands. So those are the three biggest issues we're dealing with right now.
Excellent. Within the individual's sector, which is the government and 311 services, how do you see those trends affecting both the organizations but also the vendors that are in the industry?
Yeah, the vendors in the industry really has to adapt to the model that services government, which is very different from the private sector. We have some commonalities, which is usually our telecom systems are pretty similar. A lot of our customer support applications are similar, but when it comes to the government and the issues involved in meeting those local city needs and state needs, federal needs, obviously, they're a little bit different in the private sector. For us, the vendors have to understand that we deal with low cost as as a government entity, but we don't want to sacrifice the quality that comes with those applications that they service us. The other thing they need to realize is that they're in it, and they should think of it as being in it for the long haul. Okay, it's not a one and done, because with a lot of local governments, once we select an application, it's pretty much there for a long time. So when the selection process is very lengthy, and there's a reason for that selection process being lengthy because we don't usually change it overnight. So for many of the vendors, when they come to someone like myself, they have to be looking at offering a plethora of different services within a certain application rather than just, like I said, the one and done, or I'm here for that moment and I'll come back next year with something else. It's really bringing to the table a boutique of services that application can now provide. For many of us, we're not just looking at providing, say, for example, IT technology that can be done internally, but we have the resources for a new application to build upon it and do the different things that we may have done in the past. We're now looking to the vendor to help us with those services. So for a vendor who interacts with us, maybe in the past we would purchase the software. Now we're not necessarily purchasing software, we're purchasing services. That may include hosting that application. Because many of the local governments are moving into a hosted application environment or even cloud environment. So the vendors have to understand we have a lot of commonalities with the private sector, but the government is a whole different animal. And when they come to someone such as myself, they really need to be looking at a total solution platform rather than a one and done.
Excellent. What specific challenges is your organization focused on over the course of the next 18 months, and how are you going about approaching them?
Yeah, the specific challenges that we are facing within the City of Philadelphia, like any other local government or public sector entity, is the matter of resources, specifically dollars, and paying for services and also hardware, software application to keep up with the demand that our constituents are still requiring. They're not expecting from that when you call a local government that all of a sudden your satisfaction level should automatically just go down. We still want to be able to provide products and services to the constituents as if they, call the private sector. Why should they be treated any differently? So with that, the cost associated with those applications and services, there's obviously a cost to that. And we're all struggling with finding the resources to pay for that. So that's one of the challenges that we have within our operation, which is acquiring new technology, upgrading the technology that we have, and the cost associated, finding the dollars to meet those needs. One of the other challenges that we're facing with as well is an aging population. And again, the talent management, the skills that we have, how we're transferring knowledge, those are critical to any organization, but definitely in the public sector, it is a critical factor.
Excellent. What parts of the social media does your organization engage with, and what form do those engagements take?
Sure. The social media applications that we're now using is Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Twitter. We do that as well. We also use LinkedIn as another mechanism to send our information out to the constituents. And we're getting into the blog, part of the technology. But again, those are skills that we want to make sure that we can able to respond correctly, answer, real-time situations, give something the customers and the citizen want to see on a blog, give them something to look forward to rather than just putting out materials because it's the thing to do. So we every day we're looking at different facets of social media. We also have a YouTube channel. But with all the different social media, there comes a need for making sure that we're keeping up to date and we are dedicating resources to meet those needs.
How do you see social media affecting the relationships between companies, organizations, in your case, government, and their constituents, the citizens of it? For example, do you see it improving organizational transparency or accountability to the citizens?
Sure. We see that having a tremendous positive benefit on the organization. For example, for the city of Philadelphia, we recently had a few snowstorms that came through the city. So rather than relying on the media to get the information out, we went on our Twitter account, Facebook account. Customers were sending information to us on quality of life issues that were in the city. We responded. We were able to take that information quickly, send it to the right department if need be. It really gave us an avenue for getting information out quickly to the constituents. And again, the thing about it, you have to think of social media as not just your one central area, or say the city of Philadelphia. We have people who are interested in what's happening outside of Philly that can also go into our social media platform and get real-time information for city services. So we have found it to be a tremendous platform for giving transparency and information to the public. Also, the public having access to their local government. So it's been of tremendous benefit to us.
Excellent. Well, Rosetta, thank you very much for taking the time here today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.